Parry Talks. Welcome back to 2021. Who would have thought? It's nearly February. It might be February while you're watching this. It probably will be, actually, which is just cooked. But thanks so much for tuning in all of last year. Last year was super hard. We had so much planned, but it's almost like the best thing about it is it's all shifted back to this year. So, and we still did. We're swimming well above water last year, and this year will be even bigger. We've got announcements coming very soon with the coolest project that Parry Talks have been working on. And like we've had some cool projects before, but this is the one. We're launching something brand new. It's unexpected, it's unique, but it's going to be fresh. But besides from that, the episodes will be back quite consistently, especially over the next 6 months. Just looking forward. Got some cool people coming in, and no better way to kick it off with a bit of a different angle to what we've sort of been honing in on for the last couple of months, with a good friend of mine, the one, the only Tran. He does a whole heap of cool stuff with Domus Vim, if I said that correctly.
That's right.
Dinner a la Perspex, even the food, Instagram. It's all great content. You're just a content machine, but also doing some cool shit. Happy New Year's, firstly.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
Man, anytime. Last time I caught you made a ripper pasta for us. But the first time, do you know the first time we ever interacted?
Was it Frida's?
No. Oh, maybe. No.
Oh no, it was on it was during lockdown. It was the
on House Party.
App House Party.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace. House Party.
Russia's got all our identities now. It's weird.
Was that the rumor about like?
I think so.
Was that legit though?
No, I don't know. But it was fun. I mean, it did get a lot of traction, I reckon. Like we were just you could go into any room with with anyone and just sit. As long as you're friends.
I remember just like. The best thing about it was I was big on just like seeing. I wasn't even like keen on joining the rooms. It was just nice to see like, ooh, these two.
And they didn't lock the room. We're joining.
Or like they forget to lock the room and you join, and it's like they're having like this D&M.
Yeah, and then your face is just there like quiet. What was that? What's that internet app? That Omegle?
Oh yeah, that's a whole.
It's a new one.
Is that new? Is that?
No. As in like. House Party was the new Omegle.
Oh yeah, true. But like you're rolling through your friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's what. Imagine like, we should make that app where it's like, it's everyone signs on. Like you've got a big friendship connection, and you're just skipping through.
It's like, a roulette.
Who else is online? Yeah. Who do I have to talk to? Ooh. And you can just drop people as well straight away.
New business 2021. I think.
I don't think either of us need another.
I think we're done. I think I'm alright.
I sort of said this already off air, but. I think this will be a cool conversation because this world isn't like the strongest, isn't a point of expertise for me. So there is a general inquisitiveness from my end. So I'm super keen to dive in, especially around Domus Vim, which is your business. And from my perspective and how I describe it to someone on the street is you just make cool physical objects for like heaps of different worlds. But how do you think you'd put simply like a big project or business like Domus Vim?
Well, I guess Domus Vim, like I've been around. Like Domus Vim has been running for maybe since my first year of uni, so it's been about 7 to 8 years as a business, and it's definitely grown in different ways. Because to me, it's always been like, what do I actually want to do with this business? I mean, originally it started as like just a printing service to help students get laser cutting or 3D printing at uni, but now we're working with like artists and designers all over Sydney in all different mediums. To help them produce their ideas, and I guess we're just using our knowledge that we've learned over the years to produce that. So I guess if I wanted to sum up present what Domus Vim is, we're a fabrication company that works with artists and designers around Sydney just to make nice things. I guess it's hard. I mean, I get this question in like all the time, and I'm always like, what do I actually do?
Yeah, because it ranges so much. Where it's like. I think people like me will only normally see the consumer side of it, which I think you've been working on probably like a lot recently. But there's also the commercial side of it that obviously like the actual running of it, I guess, is how to put it. But what skill set was it initially to be able to engage in that world? Was it just the laser cutting printing, or did you have was all the rest of it sort of blossoming And then it just sort of started as the laser cutting stuff.
So I guess my background is in architecture. I've got a bachelor's in architecture and a master's now. Finished my master's finally.
Nice.
But I guess everyone, when you tell someone that you work in architecture, everyone just assumes, oh yeah, windows, doors, buildings, sick. But I think the degree itself actually just teaches you how to design outside of the box, or like just tries to push you conceptually to like make things the greatest they can be by taking into account all the things that are affecting something. So I guess that was the initial skill I had, and then Domus Vim used to only make architectural buildings. Like we used to do like little small scale models for architects and developers, like little, you know those models in like developer buildings. When you're trying to sell a house, you get that little apartment, like that's your apartment. Like we used to do that stuff, and like over a year and a bit doing it, I found myself like super stressed and like I hated it. Like I was like, why did I even? Because like a lot of people think that I started Domus Vim, but I was actually an intern for my first year here. Some guy at uni was like, hey, do you want to come work here? And like I was like, yep. And then over that year I was like, oh holy shit, this is actually the best.
Yeah.
But then slowly taking over and doing what the old boss did, I was like, there's no way I could do this forever, like, or even for a long time. So I kind of started to shift my idea of what I could do with the business. I mean, we had all the tools, we've got all the skills that we've learned from our architecture degree. I may as well use it in what I actually like to do. And so that's kind of branched out into working with, initially working with friends to do like stage things for music stuff. I mean, I was going out to gigs. I mean, it was only a matter of time before someone's like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I actually make things.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're doing like stages and lighting stuff. And then from that, I guess, it's just definitely just kept a ball that kept rolling, and I get to learn from that. Like, what do I want to do and what I don't want to do? And so it's slowly refining itself into something now.
Big time. I feel that as well, where it's like the initial idea of, the initial idea of something will never be like, I don't know if you agree with this, I'm quite sporadic in like, I'll have an idea and like the Instagram account's made the next day. Yeah. Like I would start working on it straight away without properly sitting with the idea for like an appropriate amount of time. So I always feel that it will always progressively turn into something that I actually wanted to do if I had like thought about it properly, or just like by nature of like I'll do an interview and I find that I'm good at interviewing a certain type of person. I'll try hone in on that more often than so like it's just definitely learning on the job is like such a underrated thing.
Yeah, and you will like, I mean, no one knows a job perfectly when they start it. And like, I'm like you. I mean, I make Instagram accounts, I make ideas. My friends are over it now. Like I've got, we'll talk about it, but we've got like 3 things going, and it's just like everyone's like, shut the fuck. Oh, shut up.
You can do light swearing. No. Casual swearing.
Rule number 1.
Rule number 1.
Already.
For context, every time a guest comes in, there's 2 rules. There's 1 rule really. Don't swear. Just simple as that.
I didn't cut myself.
Nah, I've had episodes where like Hard Eyes, Maurice, just came in and was just like FC, and I'm like, come on, man. And I just spent hours like just like going through the waves, like just like
I'll try to make your job as easy as possible.
As horrible as possible. It's like when you go into an Uber with your mates, and before you open the door, your mates are like, I'm going to thrash your Uber rate.
Yeah, that's why I don't have to book them anymore. It's just Uber split, no worries.
Wait, so can you split?
No, if they book it and then you split the cost.
Of course. And you ruined their Uber.
Yeah. Then, no, I'm pretty okay on the Uber. My rating's okay. I'm fine.
I reckon I'm at like 4.8, which is like creeping down.
Yeah. But slowly gets there. I mean, there's not enough nighttime Ubers anymore. I mean, you're not out that late to be like, woo.
Yeah, doing silly things.
Yeah.
But I feel like Ubers get pissed off because I always do like a short trip from the station to my house.
Yeah.
And I'll just be quiet, like sitting at the back with my mask on. Just
that's
like,
that $9 ride.
Yeah. Like, and then my Uber rating will go down. It's like, what am I meant to be doing here?
Yeah.
To like...
Go around the block a couple times.
But I don't want to pay...
Exactly. It's a tough
like,
world
what
to
am
navigate.
I meant to be doing to not decrease my Uber rating?
I mean, at least it's not like that Black Mirror episode, where everyone had a rating. Imagine our Uber ratings, like everyone knew it, and that's how you get into places.
I feel like imagine there was like in venues or whatever, like on your ID, it said like...
Oh, no.
I feel like it'd be like... Because like some people have... Anyway, it's a whole thing. That's super interesting. I had no idea that you didn't start Domus Vim, because I feel like so many people associate, like, there's that whole, and like I've sort of tried to buy into it as well, the whole meme factor of like, I say us and we.
Yeah, I mean, you'll hear it in this. Like, I always say when I describe Domus Vim, we or our, and I feel like it's just a defense mechanism for like, if I ever like saying I a lot sounds kind of arrogant as well, but also we is like safety of like, if you ever fuck up, you're like, oh fuck. If you ever stuff up, you kind of just have a little safety blanket. Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh yeah, you're like that guy that works for me. Yeah.
We're sort of jumping around about a bit, but one thing that I've definitely been thinking about is not having an intern, but passing down as much knowledge as I can to someone else somehow that is interested in this field. Do you ever think about like having an intern or just like...
Yeah, well, like I am looking for someone now at the moment to jump on board with Domus Vim. I feel like it's getting to the point now where before it was easy to kind of manage just projects, but now they're getting a bit larger and like I need to concentrate on other parts of the business as well, because we're doing a lot of things this year. We'll get into that. But yeah, definitely looking for someone. And like, you know, I always believe that you want to get someone, not as an intern. Like I don't believe in internships. I think you're
horrible world. Yeah.
I think if you're investing in someone and investing in their time, like their time is precious, and it's like you can't just expect to make them work for free. I think you need to hire someone, and like, you know, it might not always work out, but it's at the end of the day, like it's an investment that you made. You don't make the best investments all the time, I guess.
Exactly. I agree. And like,
and you know, and people will learn that stuff. Like, I feel like you can't really watch over someone like a hawk and expect them to do something. Like I've got someone that's been helping out at Domus Vim every now and then on sporadic jobs, and she's amazing. And like, it's just like, you know, you just trust that person to do the job and it will get done. And you know, there's a little hiccup here and there, whatever. It's what it is. Like I wasn't perfect at the start of Domus Vim. I was, no.
Is there and like, I come from the music world, so like, there is such a toxic intern culture in music. Yeah. For everyone coming through, and like, there's a story after story about just like interns being used and abused for years. Yeah. Is there a toxic intern culture in like the fabrication world, do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, I can't speak for a lot of the fabrication world because I guess I haven't done any other job in fabrication. I mean, I worked from architecture. I went to an architecture practice, and architecture, you don't get paid too much as like as a profession that's kind of idolized as this, like, you know, like it's on the, you're doing the same kind of certifications like you would want to become a doctor or a lawyer. You've got all these years of education, and you kind of leave and you're suddenly not making as much, I guess. And if money is the big factor, then it's like, I think I just don't want people to end up in that situation. Yeah, you know?
Definitely. But so yeah, talk through those initial early stages.
Yeah. I guess I can outline like where it was and where it is now, and like how it kind of spread into, I guess, all the hobbies.
So when, and like, I know you personally, and you have a creative edge like no other. So when you started gathering that more power, was that when you started thinking outside of the architecture models, or was that like after?
Well, I feel like what was the biggest change for me was probably like, as much as cheesy it sounds, it wasn't like a pivot in that sense, but it was definitely the COVID kind of lockdown situation with the business that kind of pushed it into the direction where it is now, like what you've been saying as well, like all these little small objects and products that I've been making. But I guess before COVID, BC, I guess, we were only doing projects. I'd never thought about doing my own product line or anything for myself. Like, we were working client to client. We were working with artists to produce public art, really. Like, we were project managing pretty much. Yeah. Kind of designs that were going up in the city for like events like Vivid or Chinese New Year, and kind of going job to job. It was fine. And I never bothered. I was like, oh, I could make my own stuff now, but I was inherently lazy as well. I just said no. Yeah. And you know, this kind of business model worked for, 3 or 4 years. And during this whole time, I was also still in uni. So it wasn't like I just could not do anything else other than just like, I was like, client to client, thank God I have them. Let's just work with this. And then COVID happened, and over like 24 hours, we literally lost every project that was going ahead for the next 3 months, from March to, I think, June, because Vivid got cancelled. Yeah. And then, slowly after that, events were, out. People weren't going shopping. So our retail clients who we do display stuff for are like, we're not investing in our stores. So like, you know, what's the go here? And then from that point, I realized like, I was like, I need to do something to make sure that this is actually going to work. And like, it was like I just finished my master's, and I was like, this is the first year that I get to run a business without any other distractions, and suddenly the world shuts down. But yeah, and from that triggered kind of, you know, the first one was the lamp, and I posted a picture of the lamp as a sample, and suddenly people were like, whoa, what is this? Like, and it's really nice to have that reassurance as well, like, especially from complete strangers. Like from your friends, it's amazing because your friends support you, but it's also like, there's an outside world.
Yeah.
There's, you know, millions of people potentially will get there. But,
exactly.
But like, I just realized from that, I was like, why weren't you doing this before? Like, yeah.
But then that's just the beauty of hindsight always.
It is. Hindsight is 20/20. It's like, I always say, like, it's like moving out. Like when I remember when I was living at home, I was like, no, I'm never moving out. I want to save that money. And now that I have, although you're paying rent, you're like, why didn't I do this before? Everything's so much closer.
Everyone listening that's a mate of mine is going to be like, Ian,
Parry, move out.
just grab me by the throat. Move out. No, we'll get to the consumer stuff, because I just want to ask, like, what do you think the most challenging but rewarding, like challenging in the rewarding sense, project was before COVID, before you did the consumer stuff? What did you find just really cool about something you did? Or what was just like a moment during that time that was like, damn, this is sick? Well,
I guess, stepping in the right direction. I feel like it was the first job with friends, and I feel like that might have been Astral People, Tom and Vic. Yeah.
Shout outs.
And I feel like...
Good friends of the show.
Yeah, and we did a stage design for one of the summer dances, the ones at the NAS. Oh, RIP.
Man, they
were fun. And like, I think that was the first, like, because before that, I mean, after architecture and before like kind of working in things that I was passionate about, we were just doing like signage and really simple jobs. And I mean, you know, they're all lovely jobs, but there's nothing that there was nothing I could ever just be like, this was my design or something. Yeah. And then, you know, we worked with Astral, and then also Inku, the clothing store. Yeah. They gave us our first break as well in terms of like retail, like installation. We kind of just pitched an idea. I just emailed out of the blue, like random like info at Inku or like some silly email with an idea, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll do it. And I think doing that and Astral in the same year, I was like, oh, okay, like you can actually design things. So you know, you've got the backing of people now that says that you do have ideas, so push it. And I think that was the first, I think that was 2016 when I was like, okay, we got something.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was the summer dance stage? Who played that night?
Oh, it was over the whole year. That
oh, right,
season.
yeah.
So it was like 4 LED frames with like a pink perspex kind of gridded mesh behind them. And yeah.
Nice.
I remember I had a little control. It was pretty funny. I had a little control that I could use it in the crowds. But like, I remember as the day goes on and you drink a little bit more, I was like, yes, strobes every time. And then,
the poor audience.
And then in hindsight, I was like, okay, next time, give the control to someone else. Go stand behind the stage if you want to have fun.
Just don't have fun. You're on the job.
Yeah, on the job. I forget about that. That's what I've learned. Okay, jobs are different to, can't do both at the same time.
Yeah, I love when you get, that's the most, and obviously having, I don't want to hate random people, but people that support you that aren't necessarily your direct friendship group is super special. And it's even more special when they're just like, they're a fan enough for it's just like, I just want to commission you to do something cool for us and stuff like that. It means just so much, just like when it's just like someone else on that periphery and just like, you know what, but that's really bold, just blind emailing people.
Yeah, that one.
That's, I really commend that. Good stuff.
Thanks.
So yeah, was there, and like obviously now, especially this year, a lot triggered the consumer sort of side of it more, or even like the there's a comedic value to some of the stuff now as well. Definitely. Obviously there was the whole COVID trigger and the more external trigger, but were there any like internal, like, oh, I just want to be creative, or was there any like lingering thoughts of like, I'd like to just infiltrate more creative stuff into Domus Vim? Definitely.
I mean, from Domus, especially, I mean, during COVID, when we're doing things like we're making things for ourselves, I feel like, I wanted to, those things take time. I mean, you see the consumer things, those products don't happen overnight. Sometimes they do, but These ideas need development, they take weeks, and I wanted to create something that was, you know, an outlet that I could do every day, just to be like, okay, you've got ideas, let's do it. And that's when like I started Dinner a la Perspex, which is another thing I've done where I create like Perspex artworks of Sydney food restaurants. And it was kind of started at the time when hospitality kind of shut down. I was like, how do you like kind of, you know, engage with them and like make an audience, like, you know, push people in that direction? Because like, you know, the point was like, you know, still get takeaway. It was very conflicted messages at that time, like support local business, don't go out, you know, stay home. Oh, but also you need to eat at your local cafe or restaurant. And so,
but Uber Eats is bad.
Yeah, yeah. So it's all, you know, mixed message. So I decided like this could be I made a mirror at first, like a bacon and eggs mirror, which was a fry pan that you hung on the wall, and it looked like a mirror. And I was like, wait a minute, what if I started making all the food things that I like to eat? And that kind of just clicked off in like a week. And suddenly, like, you know, it's so nice to see, like, you know, restaurants messaging you to be like, thanks so much. But also it's really nice to see people actually commenting and tagging their friends, being like, remember when we ate that?
Yeah.
And it's like that nostalgia feeling. Yeah.
Were they ever sold, or was that pure like a content? Oh, obviously there were commercial clients for that and stuff at the end. But did you want to sell them initially to people, or was it more just like almost like content?
Yeah. So they are being sold. I haven't picked it up for a while. I'm a bit lazy on making that one right now. We start one business at a time. But yeah, I mean, they were being sold. I mean, at first it was kind of, you know, head chefs that I made kind of dishes for. They were kind of like, oh my God, can I buy this from you? And I said, it's your artwork. Like, we can just swap.
Yeah.
If I made this dish, why don't I just give it to you? I'll just eat the real dish. And that's like, that way you're not spending money. And like, I felt bad because, you know, I'm just recreating something in a medium that I know, but you've already done the work to create this beautiful kind of dish. And then from that, it kind of, you know, naturally grew, and people were like, oh, I want to buy this one because I had my first date with this restaurant. And, you know, now.
Oh, that's so cute.
And then like people would buy it as gifts, and like, so it took off. It was a really good way to fill time as well. And so it was a nice, like, during COVID, that 6 months or whatever that was, everyone was closed down. Wasn't that dramatic, but it was nice to just do projects that were just for myself. I mean, there were no clients that were coming through doors, just like, okay, this week we're going to try to make a new product for Domus Vim. Oh, I've got an idea for Dinner a la Perspex. And they were kind of just working together. Yeah.
I need an Eljana half chicken and chips.
Yeah, I did cheat for the Eljana's one and just did like garlic sauce. I just got a piece of white acrylic and glued it to a plate and said garlic sauce. And it's actually gotten the most traction on the page.
Yeah, because it's hilarious.
Yeah, because people just want the garlic sauce.
You know who has the best garlic sauce in Sydney? And I think, in the inner west.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, you're going to say Henrietta's. I was like, that's a...
have you ever been to Emma's snack bar?
Yeah.
In Emmel? Oh,
yeah.
my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is a venue.
Is it too early for garlic sauce? Yeah.
It's never too early. Man,
I'm going to the dentist straight after.
That's punishment to the dentist for taking all of our money.
Yeah.
It's just, here, cop this. I've actually done that before.
What, Eljana's and go straight to the dentist?
No, not Eljana's.
Out of spite?
I don't even remember what it was. It might have been the night before. I had like dumplings or something, and I just reeked.
Oh.
And Mum was like, "Oh, this poor."
They've seen worse. Do
you think?
Yeah, 100%.
What could be worse than like garlic?
I don't know, gum infection.
Oh yeah, true. True. I feel like we have to get into the vape.
Oh yeah.
I think that was one of the first things. Obviously, following your stuff for a little while, but the vape was like, this is hilarious, and it started to make more sense as I got to know you as well. Not because of because vapes, bro, but just with your personality and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think that it comes naturally just not to take this sort of stuff too seriously, or do you think it's just or have you sort of thought about breaking down the sort of whole stigma around, the super serious design, gallery world?
Well, I guess, I mean, for people that don't know, I mean, it's not like I didn't make an actual, it's like a incense chamber. It's like a scaled up version of the juul, the first vape that kind of swept through
the market.
through the market. It was just this beautiful utilitarian designed rectangle. And I just had the thought, imagine if we made this extra large and made it an incense chamber. So then people don't smoke it, but you can have it smoking somewhere if you wanted to get off the vapes. you know. But I guess, yeah, I mean, I don't know. My nature is pretty, you know, kind of relaxed. I joke a lot, and I think it's fun. It was just nice to, you know, you can do a not serious project, but you can apply the same things that you've learned in design to it as well. Like,
Exactly.
you know proportions, and you know size, and you know how materials go together. I don't think it always has to be like, I'm a cool designer, like I'm serious, and like, you know, that stuff comes later, and like that's the stuff that, you know, it'll happen.
Yeah.
Or you can just, I don't know. I'm not for that whole like, if I'm designing objects, I have to be like this stern character where it has to be like these beautiful minimal things and whatever. Just use your skills if you can. And I just thought it was a funny project, and so it's here.
Exactly. And I think one cool thing about Domus as well, if I can say Domus.
Yeah,
Just
I think
for sure.
Yeah, it's easy on the phone as well, like, because I don't pronounce the words properly either, so I always say Domus Vim, and they're like, what? And I have to spell it out, but then spelling it out makes it worse.
What's the correct pronunciation?
I think it's Domus Vim.
Domus Vim.
Yeah. That's right. It sounds pretty clear, especially on these Rode mics.
I wish. No, we're not. I should tape the branding up.
We're not sponsored though.
Something super unique as well, I think, about Domus Vim. Maybe it's because I'm in a position of privilege and I know you, but I feel like generally, you wear, like, you're a big part of the branding of it, and also, like, people know Domus Vim and Tran as like the one thing, which is super rare because a lot of people will be like, this is my work, this is my business, like I won't put too much personality into it, or I'll just like, there'll just be a disconnect. But I feel like there isn't much of a disconnect between you and the business, which is super cool and I think super unique.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I guess I mean, you know, sometimes you want to be taken seriously depending on the job, but at the same time, it's your own personal work and no one else is affected. You may as well put your personality into it. I mean, don't bullshit people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just be yourself,
Yeah.
kids.
But yeah, be yourself.
Follow your dreams.
But don't be too much of yourself, because then everyone thinks you're a joke.
You're not a joke.
Thanks, man.
No, people take you pretty seriously.
Sometimes.
Sick. There's so much going on in your life. Most recently, the most recent thing I saw you do, at the pharma pop-up, the pharmaceutical audio pop-up. What was in there? I didn't get to go.
We ended up Eden contacted us and said, did you want to put anything in the store? And I walked past that store quite a bit, and I was like, cool store. And then, when he asked, I was like, yeah, for sure. I put a few of our lamps in there, and one of the juul sense chambers, which is fun. But that's about it. I haven't done anything else for that.
Just checking. One of my favourite piece of yours are those droopy mirrors.
Oh, yeah.
They're so fresh. I would have got one, but I'm slow. I'm slow on the socials, and they sell out quick smart.
No, they're still there. You can still get one. You get one anytime you like.
Anyway. I love those so much because you see them in all like the share houses and stuff, like the hanging circle mirrors, and they're so ugly. But then like those ones are so fresh. So what like material was that? Was it just like, did you like, what's your physical process?
So I guess
do you buy the mirror, or do you like, where do you jump in to create it?
For that one, I've always wanted to do a wall mirror, but I obviously don't have any expertise in glass. I work mainly in like kind of perspex and acrylic. And the thing with an acrylic mirror is that it never reflects a perfect image. It's always a little bit warped because it's not perfectly flat. I mean, plastic is so, that's the science parts of it, but it's a bit like warped. So whenever you look at it, you kind of you're blurry, your head's like, well, it's like that Luna Park mirror. You know those ones? Yeah.
All too well.
And so like, obviously you couldn't make a perfect wall mirror with it. So how do you make it a mirror and kind of expose that effect? And so it's like, oh my God, imagine if the mirror was melting, and like, so then it's justified. So it's kind of like, you bought this mirror because it's melting, and then your kind of face gets warped with it as well. And so that became the first droop. And then obviously just applying like, how do you hang a mirror? How do you a mirror should be a circle, or what sizes? And that eventuated into like the droop mirror, which is like the second product after the light, which we made. And the perspex mirror, the advantage of it is it comes in all sorts of colors. Like you can get any color, and like people love, I think the aspect of all these projects that people love is like you can customize them pretty quickly as well. I mean, on our website, we advertise like a set amount of colors because that's what we have in stock. But if people are willing to wait a little longer, you can get colors that you want that match whatever's your house.
Lovely.
Yeah.
What do you think, and like, we're getting deep now, in the next sort of year or so, or even just like in the near future, from like, not so much from like a specific job or like a specific logistic perspective, but like conceptually, or just what you think about from running a business standpoint, what do you think the biggest challenge for Domus Vim is in the next, in the near future?
It's probably trying to, I think I'll talk about this without the context of potentially hiring someone, but I think it's probably managing, like, I think I'm splitting the image a bit much in terms of like whether we're doing like private-based contracts or private-based jobs, which we don't really advertise, we kind of do project managing, or are we opening a shop?
Yeah.
So it's hard to balance that, and we're kind of working at the moment with a graphic designer and a web designer to kind of figure out like maybe a better way to demonstrate this, especially on the website, because at the moment the website's kind of just like a portfolio really, and it doesn't really have a shop. So we're not really a shop yet, or we're not really fully out. So we're kind of in the middle, and we need to decide, can we do both, or should we just go with one? I mean, the shop is something that we're looking at this year a lot more, because I feel like I have a bit more control in terms of running this, and we've got ideas to work with. We're trying to open a shop that has like collaborations with a lot of our friends who are artists, and kind of make products that we have a platform that they can sell on. Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like, positioning is so... It's that thing, it's for me the thing at night where I'll try clock off. Yeah. If I'm like, turn Parry talks off, turn Mercury off, just turn it all off.
Yeah.
But the thing that is always reigning in my head is like, where do I want to sit?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like just constantly like churning in my mind.
And I feel like that changes as well. I mean, this process that, this thing doesn't happen overnight. Like this idea of Domus Vim, if you asked me 3 years ago what it would look like today, there's no way I would have given you the right answer. Or even at the start, like I didn't know I would end up here.
Yeah.
But I guess it's like that exposure as you're going along this like journey of running a business, that you kind of, you shoot off, you do a job, and you kind of go, actually, I never want to do that again. I never want to do any of that again. Or sometimes you go, I love this. Like we can, okay,
I want to do that again.
Let's go work with that again.
Yeah.
And that kind of narrows your path down to a point. And I feel like that point hasn't been reached for me yet either. I'm still doing a lot of things left and right, yes, no, like, and so, I mean, I definitely think there's a lot more clarity in terms of doing products and kind of the shop idea and working with friends more. I think that's something that's come from like kind of slowing down during 2020.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's over. I think I will continue to just push and pull now and then.
It's definitely not over.
Yeah, exactly.
And this, like, I love and I feel like, not to get too neg or sad, but it can get lonely sometimes, like,
oh, absolutely.
So like it's nice when like there's a friend, and like whenever a friend of mine is doing anything slightly in the world where I can utilize them, it's like, you have to do this with me, you have to do this with me, like let's do it together, let's do something together, because like sometimes it can get so lonely,
well, yeah,
just like trying to do this shit on your own. It's like,
because I've run this business alone for like 7 years. So like day in, day out, like I share a space with, lovely people. They run a company that does similar stuff to me, but there's never anyone that's kind of, it's not, they don't work with me or anything like that. Yeah. So it is like, you're always by yourself, but I don't mind. Like I'm with my thoughts a lot, and Christmas parties are pretty boring. No, I was kidding. Yeah, I mean, you meet people on the way as well, and like, there's always people around. So.
Yeah. Employee of the year.
Employee of the year every time.
7 years running.
Yeah, 7 years running, 12 months a year. Big paychecks for that one.
What's your employee of the year bonus? Free beer
just
on the company
just
card.
A bottle of wines.
On the company card.
Yeah, of course.
Which is just your bank account.
I mean, still, but my accountant's still like, you can't claim that. I'm like, what do you...
Christmas party.
Yeah.
We make that joke with Mercury where me and Pat will just be out like on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Like we're just having like a pretty casual night, and we just sort of both looked at our bank accounts, and we just looked at each other like at the same time. Christmas party. Yeah. Just the one. And then like we'll be out tonight and we'll look at each other and say, Christmas party.
Yep, I know the drill.
How long can you keep having Christmas parties? So, hospo Christmas parties go till like February,
Christmas
right?
in July, you got Christmas, you got Chinese New Year, you got New Year. No.
True. Well,
no, that's how you sink a business. Do it once.
on grifters as well, the bastards. Yeah, that was lovely. And we've still got so much to talk about, but I want to end the Domus Vim sort of part of this conversation on a serious note. How do you measure success? Like, not so much on a, an amount of jobs level, or like, geez, this guy's just blasting tunes. You guys probably can't hear that, but there's like some serious 2000s pop energy out there. So how do you measure success? Not so much from like I want my revenue margins to be this much in the next year, but like internally as a human being, how do you think you'll measure success with Domus Vim?
I mean, I feel like it's just feeling, I mean, it sounds tacky, but just being happy with what you do, like leaving the end of the day, not questioning like, is that the right thing to do? Or like kind of, and that's slowly coming to me more. I mean, originally at the start, I mean, I had no idea about running a business. So to me, it was all about like money and
numbers.
And numbers are still important. Like, you can't just can't be happy and like not be worrying about numbers. But I guess like it's just being confident in what you do, and like there's a lot of like imposter syndrome, especially with like running your own products. You kind of like, do people actually love this, or like are they just your friends? But you kind of have to push that aside and kind of just be like, yes, I back myself now, and I think I definitely do. I think. Yeah. And
it's one of those measures that you can never truly achieve as well.
No, you can never, and like,
which is like the best type.
And I always want to, you want to push yourself. You don't want to. I feel like I get bored pretty easily, so it's kind of like I need to just keep doing something so that it could get better. Like get better and better, pretty much. And I think it's on the right track. I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Beautiful. One of the main reasons I do know you though, and I'm sure we'll bump paths regardless of this, is that you are deeply ingrained in Sydney dance music, I think, just as a consumer, and same as me at the end of the day, just like really keen, eager consumers. Whether working with Bobby on that stuff is so cool, to like making the Frida's signs now, and you've been raving for a little while now.
What are you talking about?
And you haven't moved to Melbourne.
No, Sydney's the one.
So what makes Sydney dance for you so, special and unique and lovely?
I don't know. I think I just speak for Sydney as itself. I think Sydney has a speed and a tenacity that Melbourne does not. Like I think the Melbourne scene, they have a great music scene too. We have a great music scene that's thriving in its own way. Like we have more complications in terms of lockout laws, whatever. That's a whole nother thing. Yeah. But I think there's just an energy in Sydney where people know that this stuff, like, it's we don't have the best political climate or kind of context to actually throw great parties, but people still make it work. I mean, you still have amazing parties, whether that be like in a club, or like you got to drive out west for you get a text message, this is where it is. And I think that's kind of exciting still as well, that it's Sydney's own thing. And so I wouldn't move to Melbourne.
No,
especially with like rewind to Domus. Like I think the business sense, like I just love that, like kind of fast-paced rat race kind of situation, It
is, and there's a sense of urgency about, like...
And, like, it's not for everyone, honestly, the pace of the city, I get it, like, it's definitely pretty, like, get out of the way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I love it.
I just hope that, and my big concern with an energy like that, and it's great in terms of being efficient, and the cream rise to the crop, definitely, but I sometimes worry about, in a lot of creative industries in Sydney, that there's like a tall puppy syndrome potentially, or there's like a gatekeeper culture potentially, which is like my main concern when there is that sort of environment. But I feel like there's a young generation now of whether DJs or brands and artists that are just doing cool shit, which is super unique.
I mean, throughout this last like year, we've seen like there's a rise of people that have talent and they're doing things, that doesn't have to be only in music. I mean, you look at hospitality. I mean, you look at all these new restaurants popping up, these young kids giving it a go, because yes, it's sad that a lot of businesses have closed, or people have just moved on because they've realised it's not sustainable, but that also opens up Sydney to a whole new range of players as well. And so we'll start to see that as like things reopen now. You're getting new groups of people that producing music. And
it's epic.
And
food. And I think we have a lot in common. We like a lot of the common similar stuff.
Yeah.
But our big overlap is I think we both love food dearly.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, the last time I saw Ian, he made us a ripper clam pasta, which was just like,
Thank you.
come on, with like a nice oh, stop it. Dinner parties with Ian, you won't get invited, but trust me, they're mad. Not some poor punter listening from Melbourne.
You never know. Oh yeah.
Yes. Unlucky.
Not to say that I hate Melbourne. I feel like this has been
no, and like whenever I go to Melbourne, it's like, don't even book a hotel. Like, you don't even need to sleep.
Yeah. I think Melbourne is like, yeah, I love it. I'll go there, and like at the end of your trip, you're always like, I think it's time to go home. It's never like, I'm gonna move here.
For some.
Yeah, for some.
I'm just gonna
each their own.
Shade one mutual friend of ours that I won't say their name out loud because they don't deserve it. But yeah, food, and I think and you've got like a little food Insta going, which is one of the only ones I follow, really.
Thanks, man.
Because you post some good shit.
It's been pretty garbage at the moment. I really haven't been going to like Sydney restaurants. I've just been eating the local stuff in Surrey and just taking shit photos.
But that's what is beautiful. Oh, I've got to show you two of my friends, Joss and Ben. They've got the Instagram account called Michelin Farts, and it is the funniest food Instagram I've ever seen. And it's hilarious. You'd love it. It's just like they just go to like local cheap restaurants and like they wear full dress up and like take like wide frame pictures of them like sipping on straws and stuff. It is hilarious.
Stunning concept.
Big shout.
I love that.
I opened this can of worms to ask. I'm talking takeaway now. I'm talking Macca's, KFC, or Porto, or Gala, all that shit. Who's the GOAT?
KFC.
Thank you.
It's got to be KFC. Like, there was a bit of time where I thought a Porto's was on top, but I think
has a Porto fallen off?
Just inconsistent with the bun. The buns are shit.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
You're right. Again. Oh no, shit's fine. Shit.
Hey, your mum's listening.
I say shit in front of her. Yeah. Oh no, I feel like Agalo really took over. Really snapped up the Porto market.
But yeah, I've had a big KFC renaissance lately. It's come back, a revival. Yeah.
Lately though.
I don't know. I think last year I started eating it more. You know, it was just there. And the Crown Street one opened.
Oh, that Crown Street KFC.
That Crown Street's really funny. I love the Colonel Sanders in there. Like, they've painted the eyes wrong. He kind of looks Asian. It shouldn't be like that, but someone stuffed up.
Man, Colonel Sanders was a shit guy. I've heard, like, I said, like, I don't even know where it was. We were out one night and I just said, like, rest in peace, Colonel Sanders. Like, I was like, is he alive? And everyone was like, no, he's dead. I'm like, damn, rest in peace. And everyone was like, no, he was a horrible human being. So do your research, kids.
Yeah.
But he made KFC. And apparently KFC around the world is shit compared to it in Australia.
Yeah, I would say so.
I've never had KFC anywhere else.
Don't you, have you travelled? So, like, I guess, like, do you do the whole, like, Macca's, you know?
Yeah, Macca's is, you have to check Macca's.
Yeah, you gotta check Macca's.
In, like, Greece and stuff, or, like, in Europe, they sell beers in Macca's. That's mad.
That would go well.
That
would be terrible here, though. Could you imagine Stanmore Macca's at 10 p.m. with, like, Heineken's and Big Macs? Oh, gross.
True. Stanmore Macca's is... I don't rate Stanmore Macca's.
It's a dark time. Everyone's gone through it.
Exactly.
If you're living out west and you got an Uber home, you've definitely pulled in. Just doing it.
My favourite Macca's is Ballina Macca's. Ballina Macca's is great. I went to Ballina Macca's and I got a double Big Mac. A large meal, and it was horrible.
Is that 4 middle layers?
4 patties. Oh. Anyway, more serious note food-wise, because you know you are a food man. What do you think? What are like your go-to, even local in Surrey, your favourite, just like reliable, consistent, just goat tier meals in Sydney?
Ooh, like just like cheap eats or like.
Either.
We'll go to Spectrum. I mean, we're sitting next to Esther, so
yeah.
Esther is the one, regardless. No matter what anyone tells you, Esther is number one. But don't go there every day. You'd be poor.
Exactly.
Don't do it. It's not a good idea. But I guess like cheap eats. Like I love Pablo's. I mean, I feel like South Dowling sandwiches.
Yeah.
There's always I used to live next door to it, and then Choco Ramen has to be the one as well.
Done. That's beautiful. What do you like, Bar Umi?
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Sorry, Kirby.
Okay. I thought you were just gonna be like, yeah, that place is sick. I'm like, yeah, I love that place.
I think I've had it too much.
Okay,
I think
true.
It's one of those things because like living on Burke Street, it's like, and living on South Dowling, it was on the Uber Eats radius, so kind of every time you're a bit scat on Sunday, Barmy mate. And now I think I've associated with feeling terrible about yourself.
The Barmy mate chips are like some of my favourites though.
Oh yeah, they've got the umami salt or whatever it is. Don't know what it is. Probably crack. But
Crack salt. Yeah, that's what we call it. The crack salt.
It's not as good as KFC
flavor.
chips though.
No, do not say that. No, but KFC chips, you have to ask for extra salt. If you don't ask for extra salt, they punish it.
Yeah.
Well, Earlwood KFC is so bad. It is so bad. It's so bad. It's one of the worst. So I grew up in Roselands, right? So Lakemba KFC, renowned for being horrible. Just renowned. Like my cousin used to work there and he said, yeah, this is horrid. This is disgusting.
Yeah.
And then moved to Earlwood. Earlwood KFC. Horrible.
I've never been.
It's shocking. Yeah. What an episode. We went all corners of the spectrum.
Oh, we did.
Deep.
I'm just trying to map the graph in my head now, like where we went.
No, it was pretty linear, I heard.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, yeah.
I'm a great interviewer, guys.
Hey, Parry talks.
Usually, like, if I have a DJ or an artist on, next time I'm at a show of theirs and someone can come up and say, Parry talks, I usually get them a drink. But how could we do that for you? Next, when there's Domus Vim raves, warehouse raves.
Yeah, well, I mean, we nearly got to that point with an empty workshop.
Yeah, true. Shout out to COVID.
Yeah.
What else do we need to shout out before we head off?
KFC.
Shout out
No,
KFC.
Colonel Sanders bad. We can't
Yeah.
shout it out.
No, but KFC chicken.
Yeah,
Rest
KFC
in peace.
chicken. Yeah.
To those chickens.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lex Deluxe. Shout out to Melbourne, all of Melbourne.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sleep
love
D,
Melbourne.
Butter Sessions, Efficient Space. Everyone doing cool shit in Melbourne. Shout out to
Wesley,
you guys.
that's you. Thanks for the free shirts.
Yeah, Wesley. Shout out to Wesley. I'm not on the promo list yet.
I didn't get this for free.
Oh, we had a sort of like handshake agreement that every interview I'd have the water bottle on the table.
Oh,
But
should have brought my water
I
bottle.
thought I lost it,
Oh,
but it was at my mate's house.
true.
But you know what you do with those big... Do you have the green water bottle?
Yeah.
So when you're out and you're like at a kick-ons or whatever and you don't have a light, you open the lid, like you empty the water, open the lid and put your phone lighter inside the top of the water bottle and it glows. It's like a lantern.
Oh,
We call it the lantern.
fair enough. I don't
Parry's-
think I've been to a kick-on for that long. Oh yeah, sorry, close it off.
We can talk about kick-ons.
No.
Parry Talks. Thanks for listening, guys. You're legends. Keep your eyes peeled. I'm telling you. This announcement is our biggest yet. It should be in the next... If you're watching this probably next week, it should be in the next week after that. Shout out to everyone. Yeah.
Thanks.